My name is Sephora Berman. I'm the Executive Director of PowerUP Canada. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You can find that video on our new website, powerupcanada.ca, which went live 5 minutes ago, and also there are copies in your press packages. There are moments in history when citizens from all walks of life need to come together to work for change. Moments when the threats we face unite us with a common purpose. Moments that require strong leadership, and our elected leaders to hear that we will stand for nothing less. The growing threat of global warming and the impacts we're already seeing in rising food costs, in rising energy costs, in threats to national security, water scarcity, in the dramatic rise that we're all seeing in our daily lives in violent storms, presents us with one of these moments. We know that Canadians care about global warming. Across the country, we are all trying to do our part. We're changing our light bulbs, we're walking to work, we're retrofitting our homes. Yet Canada's emissions are projected to increase, not to decrease. This isn't a problem that individuals can solve alone. We know that there's no question that it's important for us to change our light bulbs. But today we're here to say that it is even more important to change our laws, to protect our children, and ensure Canada becomes a leader in the fight against global warming. Today we're here because we want to encourage all parties to work together to ensure that we have dramatic investments in clean energy and renewables, strong laws and policies, and support strong international agreements. We know that global warming is the overriding issue of our times. The science is clear that we need to do everything we can to reduce global warming pollution fast. On this point, all parties in this election agree. The question that remains is, will Canada's global warming emissions go down? Will the candidates pledge to pass strong laws and policies to make this happen? We know that Canada has an incredibly poor performance on global warming. We know that China has stronger vehicle emission efficiency standards than Canada does. Our ranking is at the very bottom of global performance. We have weaker laws and policies than almost every other large industrialized country. PowerUp Canada is a new vision of the future in which Canada moves quickly to become a leader in fighting global warming, to invest in clean energy, in a clean energy future that benefits all Canadians. Across the board, we know that Canadians want stronger laws to harness the market and reduce emissions. Yesterday, I'm sure many of you heard, 5 of Canada's former prime ministers, leading business leaders, climate scientists, and policy experts came together to issue their call for action. Today, in launching PowerUp, we are joined in support by the Canadian Association for the 45+, also known as CARP. We're supported today by the Canadian Jewish Congress. You'll see in your press packet the head of Canada's largest Indo-Canadian association, the Steelworkers Union, business leaders from some of Canada's most important industries. This is truly a national initiative. PowerUp Canada is partnered in Quebec with Équiterre, who will be coordinating the campaign in Quebec. Why are so many disparate groups of people coming together? The threat to us and our children and our country is now too obvious to ignore, and our federal leaders are not getting the job done. This is a lack of political leadership at the highest levels from both the right and the left. So far, we've seen our elected leaders and all the political parties jockey for position on climate change. They're putting each other down. They're arguing that the one piece they've hung their hat on is the ultimate answer. We need collaboration in government. We need leadership from the right and the left to ensure that we reduce global warming pollution fast. We cannot allow climate to become a partisan tennis ball in this election. We deserve stronger leadership than that. So today we're calling on all politicians to talk to Canadians like adults, to drop the schoolyard brawl over cap and trade versus tax shifting, because we know that leading jurisdictions are using both taxes and regulations to get the job done. All of us are waiting to hear what the parties promise for Canada moving forward. We have some idea of some of the parties' plans and are eager to hear from others what they promise to do. Once we hear from all parties, we'll be summarizing the promises for Canadians so that all citizens can see how well they advance a new vision for Canada, We'll be holding public events. We'll be mobilizing Canadians across the country, a network of concerned citizens through new media. We're not naive. We know that the parties have to duke it out in the course of the election, but we intend for them to hear loud and clear that the next Parliament has got to get things done. And when they go back to Ottawa, we'll be holding them accountable to find a nonpartisan way forward towards a better vision for Canada. Today, we're also releasing a new poll by Harris Decima that you can find in your press packages. This polling data shows very clearly that Canadians want Canada to do more, and they don't see it in conflict with the economy, but as a way to modernize our economy. A few of the poll highlights that no party has convinced a majority of Canadians that they have the answers. For a solid majority, 67%, global warming is an important issue or one of the most important voting issues. Canadians are clearly hearing that other countries are modernizing their economies and creating jobs with stronger global warming laws. Fully 73% of Canadians from across this country believe that stronger laws will improve our economy. Today, we're seeing record profits for big oil companies at our expense. High gas prices are all the more reason for clean cars. Trouble in manufacturing is all the more reason to ramp up clean technology. Canada is brimming with opportunities in carbon sequestration, in renewable energy. PowerUP Canada is supported by a growing list of concerned Canadians across the country. And since the news started breaking yesterday of our initiative, our phones have been ringing off the hook with individuals from across the country wanting to join PowerUP. Some of the people from coast to coast who have joined PowerUP, names that you'll know already, prominent supporters now include Canadian Olympian Adam Creek, gold medalist at the Beijing Olympics, Canadian actors Rachel McAdams, Kiefer Sutherland, Nev Campbell, Charles Martin Smith, Professor Thomas Homer Dixon, Clayton Ruby, Michael Ndonche, Margaret Atwood, Anne-Marie MacDonald, designer Evan Biddell, Moses Neimer, and many more. Sending their regrets today because they could not join us at the press conference, but you'll see in your press packages that they have provided statements. Dr. Joseph Wong, the founding national president of the Chinese-Canadian National Council, Kashmir Dhaliwal, the president of the Khalsa Diwan Society, North America's largest Sikh association, and Avram Lazar from the Forest Products Association of Canada. I want to introduce to you now Dr. Matthew Bramley from the Pembina Institute, also the policy advisor from PowerUp Canada, who will tell you a little bit about both our policy recommendations and the questions that we're releasing today to candidates.